Okay, so we're doing bivariate data now, and what that means is it's the same thing as normal stats, except you got two separate things that are going on. So an example of single variable data would be we just ask people one question: are you left-handed or are you right-handed? Left-handed, right-handed. Okay, so it's two different things, but it's one question, right? It's just two answers to one question, so it's just one variable because it's just one question, okay? So let's say we ask everybody in class and 9 people say they're left-handed and 24 people say they're right-handed. There we go. Single variable stats, right? Single variable categorical stats specifically. Let's say we want to make this two variable, we want to make this bivariate stats. Well, we just got to ask a second question. So let's ask another question. Let's ask people, if you could choose between these superpowers, super strength, super speed, and flight, which power would you choose? So let's say 10 people chose strength, 10 people chose speed, and 13 people chose flight, whatever, right? So now we have bivariate data because we're asking people two questions. There's 5 different numbers here, but we're not talking about the answers, we're talking about how many questions are you asking. If you're asking 2 questions, it's bivariate data. It's 2 variable data, okay? So the first thing that's really important when you're doing bivariate data is just, again, how can we organize this best, right? How can we figure out, like, how many people are left-handed and wanted super speed? How many people are right-handed and wanted super strength, right? How can we figure out that kind of stuff? How can we tie these 2 questions in together? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rearrange this stuff into a more useful way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, let's make a big box. And let's say the top will be left-handed, bottom will be right-handed. And then super strength, speed, and flight. Okay, so whatever number I put in here, that's how many left-handed people wanted super strength. Whatever number I put in here, that's how many right-handed people wanted super speed. Okay, so it's best to go and ask people these questions. Like, if you go out and ask people, are you left-handed or right-handed, then you go home and you collect all your data and you're like, dang, I should have asked them what their superpower, what the favorite superpower was. And then you go out and ask them again and say, okay, like, was that person left-handed or right-handed? And right, so you should ask both questions at the same time. Are you left-handed or right-handed? And also, what's your favorite superpower, right? So let's say we ask people that question and 3 left-handed people said they wanted super strength. 1 left-handed person said they wanted super speed. 5 left-handed people said they wanted flight. 7 right-handed people wanted strength. 9 right-handed people wanted speed, and 8 right-handed people wanted flight. Okay, so this is a more handy way of organizing your data, right? Because now we can see, and so the total number of left-handed people, these are all the left-handed people, right? So the total number of left-handed people is 3 plus 1 plus 5 is 9 people total, right? So there's 9 left-handed people total. These are all the right-handed people. So the total number of right-handed people was 24. These are all the people that wanted super flight, regardless of if they're left-handed or right-handed. Flight, not super flight. So 5 and 18 is 13. These are the people that wanted super speed, regardless of left hand, right hand, so 10 people altogether. And these people wanted super strength, regardless of left hand, right hand, so 10 people altogether. Okay, and then what we can do is we can either add these together, or we could add these together, but whatever that is, it'll tell us what the total number of people that we asked was. So 10 plus 10 is 20, plus 13 is 33, and 9 plus 24 is also 33. So we asked 33 people. So already this is pretty handy, right? Just using those numbers that were in there, we can count, like we can say, oh, how many left people were there? Oh, we just add those together. There's 9 left-handed people. How many right people were there? Just add those together, it's 24. How many people altogether? Well, you just add the left-handed and the right-handed people. That's how many people there were total, right? There's no third option for left-handed, right-handed. So you have 9 here, 24 there, 33 people altogether. And then same with how many people don't care about whether they're left-handed or right-handed, how many people wanted super strength. It's just those numbers, right? 3 and 7. Okay, so one more thing that we need to talk about is, this is handy, but an even handier thing that we could do is, like, what if I asked you the question, what percent of people let's say, were left-handed? So if I ask you what percentage of left-handed people were right-handed, well, 9 people were left-handed out of how many people altogether? 33 altogether, right? So 9 divided by, just plug into a calculator, 9 divided by 33 is a weird number. It's 0.272727 repeating. Okay, so that's, to make it into a percentage, you just move the decimal over 2 spots. So 27.27%, or 27.3 if you want to round it, or 27% if you want to round it more, whatever. So about 27% of people were left-handed. Okay, what if I wanted to ask how many people, so what percent of people wanted, let's say, flight? Well, 13 people out of everybody asked, so 13 out of 33 people wanted flight. So 13 divided by 33 is also a weird number, 0.3939, etc. So that gives us about 39%. But now here's where it gets a little interesting. What if I asked you, so the first question was just about the left-handed, right-handed people, right? The second question was just about the superpowers, right? What if I asked you, what percent of people, never mind, hold on. Not just all people, what percent of, let's say, what percent of right-handed people wanted speed? What percentage of right-handed people wanted speed? Well, there was 24 right-handed people altogether, and 9 of those people wanted super speed. So 9 out of 24. We're not doing the total, right? Because we don't care about the left-handed people. We're excluding them from this question. So we're not doing the total, so it's not over 33 this time. We're just looking at the right-handed people. So it's going to be 9 divided by 24. Gives us a much nicer number. 0.375, which is 37.5%. Okay, so bringing all this down just into like the major bullet points here is writing out a table like this. It's called a two-way frequency table. It's the fancy word for it. That's a really good way to, if you're asking people 2 questions, so you're doing bivariate data, it's a really handy way to compile your data, because then you can see, okay, how many left-handed people were this, how many right-handed people were this, and whatever. It's a good way of chopping up your data into very specific pieces, right? So we're organizing our data using frequency tables. And then using that frequency table, we're asking what percentage of these people wanted this? What percentage of those people wanted that? And it's literally just do that number out of whatever the total was, depending on what the question is asking for.